Amy, you were talking about how that kind of resonated with you when I said that you will attract, of course, a narcissist if you are a people pleaser. Yes. But has it occurred to you that you have to have narcissistic ways to be a people pleaser?
Well, that's the thing, I think, that you always put yourself against the narcissist. Like the narcissist is the bad one and I'm the victim. But yeah, looking in the other way, I had never thought that I would have those qualities to attract it. And I did. Like my mom was like that. I'd had several bosses that were like that, and it was just like a reoccurring character in my life.
Okay. So when you really look at it, would you say that your ability to put aside what you feel for other people was because of what exactly? Why did you decide to make sure everybody else was happy first? Because that's what a people pleaser thinks. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily why they do it.
Yeah,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Too early.
I haven't even had coffee yet. I haven't had my medication.
Too early.
I still need to do a bunch of things yet. Still, if you really think about it, is that not the truth? That's not the reason you make sure everybody else is happy.
Yeah. Well, it's like I didn't.
Hi, Josie.
Hi.
All right, we're going to let Amy finish what she said real quick, and then we'll come to you.
Okay.
I love her.
Okay, go ahead, Amy.
Well,
you might want to mute for a second, Josie.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Give me a little recap.
Okay, so if you really think about it, Amy,
yes.
There was a reason why you decide to start pleasing everybody.
Yes.
The reason why you start telling yourself what's going on with them, what matters with them. Those things are things that actually there's a reason why you choose to do that, why you choose to put aside how you feel for other people's feelings first.
Their feelings are more important. And if they're happy with me, then I can be happy with me.
When do you ever let yourself be happy with you when it comes to other people? Mm-hmm. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
See, what actually happened when you said your mom used to make sure everybody else was happy? You said, I also make sure everybody else is happy. Why do you guys focus on everybody else's happiness instead of your own? And that's what will attract a narcissist or narcissistic tendencies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you hear the So Josie's here. Josie's with emotional wisdom, but Josie's one of my
Mike is here too.
Mike is here too, clearly. But Josie also, hey guys. Josie does emotional wisdom. If you've never subscribed to her channel, go over there and do so.
Yeah.
But Josie actually can talk a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about why we end up trying to make other people happy before we start focusing on ourselves first.
Craig!
Up here, gotta unmute.
That's right. Okay. Can everyone hear me now?
You're breaking up a little bit, but you should be coming through. I'm gonna mute so we don't have that background.
Okay, but everyone can hear me, right? Okay, good. So from my level of perception, as far as people pleasing goes, I've always seen it to be that it stems from childhood. And I speak from personal experience. I was starving for my mother's approval. I didn't even know it. So I know exactly how that looks like. And when we people please, it's because somewhere along our childhood, we experienced a trauma that imprinted in us, fractured us. And what we essentially have been trying to do once we experience this impactful moment of rejection, we then wanted to fight for their approval back. We wanted to do everything we can, even lose ourselves, reject ourselves, abandon ourselves to please our authority, our parents. In this case, from personal experience, my mother. So what that happens then is, as I'm getting older, right, we fueled this pattern, this fear, this resistance of, I don't want to feel this rejection. I don't want to feel this abandonment. So let me do everything I can to do what I can to abandon myself, essentially, right? And do what they want me to do. And what happens is I was finding myself, especially with my female friends, is that I would hold back on what I would say. I was trying to be, how can I say this? The best way that I can describe this is I was sacrificing what I really wanted to say and do so they don't get bothered by me, offended by me. Ironically, they would somehow end up feeling that type of way with me. So I tried harder. So it was a perpetuating thing that I was fueling this pattern. And this pattern was gaining more momentum. It was getting bigger until it blew up in my face. And the way that I realized, exactly, it always does. And the way that I realized, me personally, because I can speak from personal experience like no other, obviously, is when my mother passed away, I didn't want to live anymore. I lost my identity. I realized that she was how I identified myself, and I didn't want to live. So it's interesting because it's almost like, what do I do next? What do I do with my life? And why is this important that I'm saying this? Because I was fighting all this time to gain my mom's approval through her, through my friends. And ultimately, that was a big trauma that was essentially governing me. And when my mom passed away, it was like I had no sense of identity. It's almost like part of my identity was winning my mom back. And of course, as living organisms that we are, we're striving to be wanting to balance ourselves. So it's like, my body, my energy field, my scale, if you will, was like this. It was tilting more on this end. And when this happens, obviously experiences get more painful. We attract more of that very thing we don't want. And then for me, my mom's departure really put it into perspective. I experienced that night, a dark night of the ego, dark night of the soul, forced me to realize the paradigm I was stuck in. So that was a long explanation, but I felt called to share my personal realization. In fact, Lee and Sherry helped me with that big piece to my puzzle. I've always have been that intuitive empath, clairsentient. I read energy. I claircognizant. It's like I know things, and I'm of course an empath. But yet I still felt there was something missing. There was something yet hindering me from taking the next step. And thank you for Sherry and Lee for helping me really identify that. So anyway, hopefully that paints a picture on people pleasing. And it always stems from your childhood. Always, always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Josie, that
At home.
that deeply resonates.
Yeah.
Because we never really go back and reassess not just our childhood, but our experience. And you don't even see how you stay disconnected because you never go back. You never really access that feeling again. The feeling gets triggered and the thought pattern shows up the same, but the feeling itself never gets our acceptance. Because when you told yourself you had to be a certain way for your mother's approval, when did your mother physically say that to you?
She didn't.
In the moment you decided to please her for whatever reason, she never understood how she lost her daughter, but you can literally see that's how she lost her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy, you probably experienced the same. It's the same cycle, same experience. Our ability to heal goes unanswered because we're too busy pleasing other people, pleasing the world.
I just in the chat said number one people pleaser here, raise your hand. And everybody was like,
Everybody raise their hand.
they was all raising their hand. I had double hands.
Right.
Come on,
right.
Gemma.
Man, we've got the
Come on,
dogs.
Gemma.
So,
And I
go ahead.
wanted to add, as Lee was mentioning, you know, we abandon ourselves, we abandon our mission, our purpose, our essence, and we live for everyone else and leave. And like I said, with the clients that I've been dealing with, has always gone back to their childhood. And if they can't remember, I use this technique going into the physical body and essentially dialoguing with the sensations that are attached to the emotion, such as people-pleasing need. And well, what I've unveiled, and it's like an always constant thing, is that it's always in their childhood. And if they don't remember in detail when, who, what, when, where, and why, they will start getting those details when they go back into the body. And that's super exciting. So seeing it through my clients and seeing it and have experienced it through me, I realized that I was living my life for other people. No wonder I was suffering depression, because I was connected to being disconnected, starving, trying to get belonging, carrying that initial wound to my present. So
when you were living for other people and doing for other people, how did you ever receive love?
I didn't. So it only perpetuated the disconnect.
So what do you think you could give other people if your receiver for love was broken? That's literally what causes or prolongs our ability to keep people pleasing other people, because we hope that someday we'll receive the love we're giving. But the truth is, you will continue to reject the love you're giving other people because you tell yourself you're not worth it.
Yeah.
And this we've seen happen and create so many disconnects. Not just disconnects from people you're connected to, but people who actually are part of your family, who want to love you, but they don't even understand how hurt you are. The fact that you want to make sure that their happiness comes first,
I know.
that's something really damaging to your own happiness.
Mhm. And I felt with my mom, it was like even when she would be happy, I would reject that, because it was like I was so hurt that I couldn't even accept her approving me, because I wasn't approving me. And it was like sometimes she would be so loving and I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, you know, and it's like I'd push it away. So it was just not even, I wouldn't even let her approve of me. Like,
And explain pushing away, because I think what happens is when we want to heal, you know, we don't really pay attention to why we're people pleasing, why we're pushing away somebody doing anything for us. Ultimately, you're still pushing away why people do things for you, because there's a deep belief that you're not enough. There's a deep belief that if you start to receive what you're giving, it's going to go away again.
yeah.
But the truth is, you never let somebody give you something. Once you start people pleasing, you don't know how to receive.
No.
You know how to continue to feed a belief system of not enough, not important, I don't matter. And ultimately, I've done something that I can never take back. I've hurt somebody and I've lost their ability to love me because I'm this bad person inside. People pleasing doesn't necessarily come from a need to want to make everybody else feel special. It comes from a need of making yourself feel less than.
Mm.
So if you really look at it, whether the way that Josie was explaining it, the way that Amy's explaining it, hey, Elmo will be talking in a minute. Some of the things that you end up doing, that you end up reaching out and trying to heal people in, or help people in, or be there for those people, you really want to ask yourself a question. Are you doing it for them? Or are you doing it for something that's hurting you that you don't know how to heal? Because that's what people pleasing really is, if you really look at it. And you deserve better than that, and you can have better than that. It doesn't matter why you people please. What matters is the hurt that makes you people please. Because the hurt is going to continue to stay hurt until you choose to heal it. I think that's where you can find significant changes in your life, your connections, your relationships. Your ability to be able to be loved is not going to be found in how you make other people happy. Never will be. And what's it going to take for you to realize that? So Elmo, welcome.
Well, you have quite the fan club over here in the chat room.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Hello,
going,
everybody. I'm doing fine. Just, well, fine and not fine.
Okay.
I had some major, I don't know if it's a connection or disconnection, really, because on one hand, I chose myself, what I know, but on the other hand, I kind of sacrificed a relationship that was good. So maybe this is really on time, this people pleasing thing, because I stayed in that relationship because I wanted to be good to that person. And I wanted to receive her like good love, but it was not really what I wanted.
Hmm.
It wasn't really what I wanted.
How do you know the difference between what you want and what you need? Do you notice that there's a space in there where you look for what it is you can open up and share, right? How you open up and share what hurt you, how you open up and share what's going to feel for you. Not feel and label what you're actually feeling, but actually how when you actually feel and you want to show up, or you want somebody to show up for you, how do you ask them to do that for you? How do you let yourself open up and ask for it? How can you people please anyone if this is the space you're in? Is it easy to do?
It's not easy to open up.
Where did you learn to close down? Is it something in your past, something in your family in your past? Is it something in a former relationship? Is it something that happened in your childhood? Is it something that you look at and you say, this is a hurt that just refuses to heal? Or just because you believe it's a hurt that refuses to heal is the reason it keeps staying stuck?
It's like a voice that tries to come out and wants to be heard, but the first person who should be listening to it is not listening to it. And that is the need that wants to come out. Like, what do I need? It has to come out so it can be fulfilled. But even I am not listening to it. Maybe I've learned to ignore my own needs, my immediate feelings about the situation.
That's one of the first wounds you'll receive in people pleasing. What will make you people please is the wound you just spoke about. And who sat down to ask you, why aren't you paying attention to what you need? Who's done that for you?
You, man. You too.
No,
All the time.
outside of us, once we did it, did you change the belief that everybody could do it?
Well, at first I just started feeling others. What are they feeling? And started feeling the ebb and flow between every connection, every person. But no, I have not opened that up yet.
So as long as you keep that belief system, what's it doing to your own heart? What's it going to attract if you don't believe? You believe that only Lee and Sherry can give you this. If you really look at it, it's true. We've seen this a lot where people open up in our space, but they don't change the belief that they can open up in all other spaces. How can you be connected if you keep only choosing that one space? The space isn't because of us. The space is because we created space for you to be open.
I only know how to open up and cry and let it out. But once I let it out, I go back to my same actions.
Because you believe
patterns.
that has the crying released you or imprisoned you more?
Is it
What is
reinforcing the belief?
What is your purpose for crying? When you ask yourself, what is the crying in the body and what is the body trying to tell you that it's either releasing or holding on to?
Something pent up, something that has not flowed.
When have you allowed somebody to hold you when you cry?
Last
When was
Friday.
that? Okay, and tell us about the experience. Were you crying because of a hurt or were you crying because of a happiness? Because they're both the same thing.
I was crying because I was able to see my hurt and I was able to bring it out. And it kind of came out with the tears. They were like the same thing. Like many, many, many years of repressed pain. And
Why did you need to hold it in for so long? When you really feel what you had to hold inside, when you really ask yourself the truth, why did you hold it in?
because I wanted to give the hurt back. Like I was hurt and I was holding on to it so it could hurt others, I guess.
Who are you trying to give it back to? And why did you think you needed to give it back? Do you feel your head shaking? No. Your ability to want to give the hurt back, is it hurting you or them?
It's hurting me.
How's that giving it back to anyone? And let me ask you a question. You wouldn't by chance wear a mask over this hurt, would you? You know, not let anybody know that it's there.
All the time.
And you do this to please other people.
So it wouldn't be a burden. Yeah.
Has it occurred to you that you wouldn't be a burden? Made you one?
If I let it go, yeah.
No, that made you a burden. You're just not paying attention to who it made you a burden to. Because what happens to your ability to love if you want to hurt everyone else around you because of your hurt? When did that make you a people pleaser in truth? It makes you a really strong mask to wear, but who gets to love the real you? Who gets to experience you when this happens? And how can you be connected to yourself if you're wearing a mask all the time?
Yeah.
When did that ever get you left? Name one time.
Never. Never.
And you would by chance wouldn't be mad at yourself for doing that to yourself. Meanwhile,
Oh, yes.
still don't let
Oh, but that
anybody.
is the pain. That is the pain. It's not even the thing that hurt me, but the pain of holding it so long. And
What would emotional wisdom say, Josie, to this?
I would say be present with that pain that you feel in your physical body. Where, if you can close your eyes, I want you to sink into your body, scan your body, and find the sensation, physical sensation of where the pain is translating in your body. And be present with that. That is you parenting yourself, caretaking yourself unconditionally. You're not even doing this to go away. You're doing this just to connect with it. That's what I would advise.
Beautiful.
it's powerful.
Absolutely beautiful. I love it when you flow like that because I could see it in you. I could see all the hurt that you've done that with already and seen how you've transmuted that. I mean, just imagine, name one place in the world where somebody took emotional and put it next to wisdom and made sense of it. Very rare thing to see, but a very rare thing to feel, right? Because you're saying if you just accept what you feel without the story, without what you're calling the emotion, what happens to the feeling?
It becomes free.
And when things are free, do you accept them?
Yeah.
Mm. Do you see how when you people please, it's literally a matter of acceptance? What can't you accept isn't about what other people give you. It's about what you don't accept and get in yourself. And where did you learn to do such a thing? Accept yourself. Think about all the people that you love, that are connected to you, that you have relationships with. Think about everybody who's ever come into your life. How did you let them accept you? Because if you didn't let them accept you, this makes you a people pleaser by default. Isn't that awesome? And you can heal this. You just have to accept you first. Accept how you feel. Accept all your hurts. Because trust me, the moment you don't accept your hurt, you're going to make damn sure nobody else does. You ever done that? You ever had somebody who, how are you feeling today? And you go, fine. Because you really don't want to talk about it. You're too busy feeling it. You don't open up your arms and say, just hold me. I don't have words. I mean, why would we all do that? That would mean connection. That would mean healing. Why would we want to heal what we've been carrying around and hurt to make sense of the people who hurt us? Why would we want to give that up? That's given us just a brilliant story to share with everybody. But you're not your damn story.
That's right.
The reason you'll people please is to make sense of your story, not make sense of your hurt. Will you ever let yourself make sense of your hurt?
Not through the story.
Mm. When do you ever make sense of hurt? When you refuse to heal it. Ta-da! For hurt's next magic trick. That's how you make sense of your. Tell me, name one time you've ever got hurt and just ran and shared it with everybody. Or you stuffed it down, told yourself a story about it, and kept stuffing it. If you ran out and told everybody, what would happen to the hurt? Now, you can tell people about your hurt, or you can tell people about who hurt you. They're not the same thing. If you could tell everybody who hurt you about the person who hurt you, about how they hurt you, what does that do for your hurt? Hey, Amy, when you were talking about how your mom was a people pleaser, right? Oh, look at you. There she is. Well, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
She had something to say.
Yes, she did. She was ready. I'm ready.
Oh,
Give
man.
it to me.
Sorry.
Lady.
I was like,
Go ahead,
it's
Amy.
a group. I want to come in and show. Say that again.
You were talking about how your mom was a people pleaser, right?
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you picked up the habits of what she was doing because of something you saw hurting her or something you saw that was loving her.
It was hurt.
Isn't that interesting? We become people pleasers because of other people's hurt.
Yeah, and I thought it was my fault all the time. And I thought, like, she's mad at me. I did something. And it was like so much of what we're talking about, I keep coming back to this point of not knowing that I have the choice to think differently. It's just like, that's it. That's my story, and that's me, and it is me.
Then when you really look at it, Amy, the hurt that your mom was going through, did her mom ignore it too? So you come from a history and connection of not being able to heal your hurts.
Yeah.
That's inherited. It's not even, you're people pleasing based off of a nature of hurt that started a long time ago.
Yeah. And it's very strong with my grandma and my mom. Like, my grandma is very strong-willed.
And do you know what will heal them? One simple question. How do you want to receive love from me?
Mm.
You're allowed to ask that. I mean, you wouldn't call it love without asking that, would you?
Mm.
When have you ever asked somebody how they want to be loved? Name one relationship that you did. Name one time you looked in the mirror and said it. Now, did you hear the hurt? The gasping of air. This is all feeding why we all want to please each other, not ourselves. You went to school to learn to receive love or how to give up everything you ever do in your life for everybody else.
Mm.
At what point do you connect to yourself if that's what you're learning? How can we heal one another when we're not even paying attention to ourselves first? How much hurt have you carried around in your life, never feeling connected to, and had to please everybody because your hurt was getting the best of you? You ever had that happen, Elmo, where you're like, I feel good today. And then you go out there and somebody's like, hey, yesterday you didn't. And as soon as they got to the you didn't, what happened to everything you were feeling about the day so far?
That gets hidden. That gets like, now I'm taking up that. Now I'm carrying that. I was feeling about people pleasing, and well, like, how does us being hurt make us wanna wear a mask? Like, why don't we wanna show our pain? Why do we think others won't accept our pain? And why do we think that they won't embrace us?
What
if we
answer
just showed it, if we walked
What-
around with our real emotions, like how
Well-
simple it would be.
Let me ask you a question, Alma. When you got hurt, who did you go to with the hurt? And how did they respond to it? Now, it could be just as simple as only one time of going in front of mom or dad, and they go, don't feel that way. You don't even see the impact of what hurt you. But now that you have to push aside because they don't want you to feel this way, meanwhile, what does that do? What does that make you do to your own feelings?
Deny it.
Deny it or abandonment, betray it, reject it. And at
Same
some
thing.
point, who do you think you're resisting, them or you? And you don't even tell them this is happening to you when they tell you don't feel that way. You start people pleasing because of their command, not your wish. And I want you to feel that. Your wish is somebody will hold you no matter what you're feeling. But the moment you hear somebody say, don't feel that way, and it's not that they don't want you. No, even their reaction may make you feel like they're not wanting you to reject the feeling of that way. But what they're really wanting to say to you is, I don't know how to help you when you're feeling this way because you're not telling me what you need. So
So
don't
is it
feel
them
that.
rejecting it themselves?
So don't feel that
Abandoning
way
the-
is, don't feel that way isn't what you think it is. It's what you feel it is. They don't want you to feel that way because you're not going to let them connect to you. You're not going to tell them what you need. You're not going to tell them what you want. And when did that ever heal anybody? Starting with you, when did that heal you?
Not telling people what I want.
When they told you not to feel that way, what did you say?
I got a story. I was practicing hanging onto a bar with my dad, and I couldn't help but laugh. I was having a fun time, but when I was laughing, I couldn't hold on to the bar, and he was like scolding me, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, just hold on to the bar, pull yourself up." And I I couldn't because I was laughing, and that was really, that felt kind of bad. Because why didn't he laugh with me? Why was it so important that I hang on to the bar when we could have just laughed it out?
What did you say to him when this happened? Did you ask him why he wouldn't laugh with you?
No, I did the pull-up.
How much pain were you in as you tried to pull yourself up?
Big.
Did you get up over the bar?
Yeah, I put it all.
Ow, 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 I could feel it. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
It's like you don't access the feeling after that. The ow was I could feel you pulling yourself up there without feeling connected to. Your ability to pull yourself over the bar at this point was your disconnect, wasn't it? What happened to the boy who was pulling himself up but wanted his father to connect? Getting up over that bar was what your father wanted or what you told yourself he wanted? Who did that please?
Yeah, I made that into a story, probably. That's what he wanted.
Did you ever tell yourself you wanted to feel what you were feeling?
No.
What if you're wrong? Wouldn't it feel good to be wrong?
It would at this point.
And not at this point, in that moment. And guess what you learned how to do because you never said to your father what this did to you inside? Do you feel you can trust being open in connection since this moment happened? How
I
can
feel
you
like
be?
I have to constantly pull myself up.
Who gets to be connected to you, Elmo? Not even you. Because who spoke up for the boy who was trying to pull himself up instead of speaking up for the boy who wanted his father to join him? I mean, who do you think you chose in that moment? The boy who had to live in hurt, or the boy who could be connected to? We don't even narrow it down into this space. So we hurt from the feeling that we'll never return to, nor will we overshare. Because guess what we tell ourselves? Nobody's listening, nobody cares. We create many nobodies. The nobodies who actually make you people please. Nobody loves me, nobody understands me, nobody gets me, nobody. The moment you have a nobody, who gets to love you?
Nobody.
Who gets to connect to you?
Nobody. Do you make everybody into a nobody?
You make
way.
yourself into a nobody so everybody can't see you.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm sorry about
that
that.
hurt a little.
Tell me how it's not the truth. The opposites are in effect. The moment you get to tell yourself nobody loves you, who becomes the nobody? Who becomes the nobody, Josie? Josie,
You. You become the nobody.
Yeah, and you'll fight for your ability to be a nobody.
Absolutely. And you will see it in everyone because you're vibrating in that place and you're a match to that. And that's what you'll connect with.
Ooh.
Reflections of nobody.
Oh, so you're saying, Josie, from what you've been able to go in and see inside yourself, you keep attracting nobody because you believe in nobody before you believe in nobody.
Yes. Before I believe and trust myself.
Mm. And as you try to get people to love you, do they have to love your nobody first?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yes. So
Don't tell anybody because the entire world is going, we can't wake up to that right now. Yes, you can. We're not going to heal without knowing the truth. And the truth is, how do you heal a nobody? You expose your nobody.
Ugh.
You feel that, Amy?
Yes.
What did you
How does
feel?
that make you feel?
Where did you feel it? Yeah, where did you feel it, Amy?
Felt it in my chest and my shoulders, just like in my heart.
And do you love the girl that felt it? Or are you hiding her?
I want to hide her so bad. Like there's an urge there to just keep her.
Don't put her away. We need her here. We all can heal with her. She's pleased everyone else in a space where she should be recognized that she needed somebody to show up for her. So the tightness and the intensity of what you're feeling, when somebody looks in your eyes, this is who you're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hide her here. You just don't.
Yeah.
You'll find many of reasons to hide her from the world because you can tell yourself a story of how she's going to get hurt. But what if I said, when did she ever stop hurting?
Mm.
The first time you hit her, was she hurt? And when you brought her back out, did you heal her? Or did you leave her hurt?
Left her hurt. And I blamed her.
Mm. What did you blame her for?
Mm. Blamed her for making my mom upset. And I blamed her for also loving too much sometimes. Like when you're free as a kid and then, just getting yelled at in that spot, it's like again and again, I'd find myself getting, letting the love out and then pulling it back in really quick because I'm scared that it's too much. It's, I don't know.
Too much is not enough. Amy, too much is not enough. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
You're more. You're always more. When we get hurt, there's not enough hurt to go around. There's plenty of hurt to go around. How about love? How much love does she get feeling the way she feels? If you can feel her in your body right now, how do you get her love?
Let her out.
And when do you do that? That was hurt and excitement and pain all the same.
Yeah.
The air itself explains your connection to yourself. Did you realize that? How people can connect to you just came from your breath you just took. You ever done that, Elmo and Josie? Have you ever realized that some of the hurt that you've stuffed down, when you try to breathe from it, that's the depth that you will allow nobody to ever visit and experience in you?
Mhm.
Like getting the wind knocked out of you. And even you don't love your hurt. And you don't have even a good reason why. The moment you won't love your hurt, why would you let anybody love you? Give me a good reason. Tell me one good reason why you would let somebody love you when you are not loving the girl in you, the boy in you who's hurt. How easy is that to do? And you're pleasing everybody. You're convincing yourself you're pleasing everybody, but you're being complete narcissist to the you that got hurt. And you're wondering why you're attracting it. How do you please you? When do you stop being a narcissist to yourself to people please other people? Because that's literally what you did and what you're doing. And when do you stop? I remember when Sherry pointed it out in me that I was staying hurt. A people pleaser practices staying hurt. Because that one time somebody rejected how you felt became the multiple times you kept doing it to yourself. And you just didn't see that as never pleased anyone at all. The beautiful mask with no purpose. And if you look for the purpose, it would be, I know how to contain hurt into a really small space and then ignore it. That's how good you've become at it. And when did that please anyone? Starting with you. If you look at a list of all the people who've hurt you in your life, Amy, Josie, Elmo, would you say that there's anybody in your life who's come to you and said, I know that I've hurt you? And how are you feeling right now? Has anybody ever done that in your life?
No.
Amy, Said no. Josie, you said yes. I would like to hear a little bit about that and who you think needs to come to you for you to heal the hurt you're carrying. So you'll stop people pleasing and start being open to love. Because will a people pleaser open themselves up to be loved?
No.
Commitments happen in silence, Amy. No. Yes. Elmo?
No, because you're too busy trying to love other people, trying to love other people.
Okay, so Josie, who showed up for you and how did they embrace what you were feeling?
First, it was me showing up for me, because when I didn't show up for me, my recent episode, I couldn't receive anyone when they're trying to show up for me. In fact, it would annoy me when they tried to show up for me because I didn't want to show up for me. I was too busy locking that part that was deep in pain to continue to be in pain, because I was afraid, without me knowing, unconsciously, that if I brought her out, that no one could understand her, because that was my core belief, is I cannot ever be understood in deep, deep loss. And as you wish, you shall receive. And I had her in a vault. My father passed away, and I was that truth, that core belief. Whew, it took a grip over me. People try to reach out to me. I couldn't receive it. In fact, it was annoying. And I, being the self-aware being that I am, have always been to a degree, I said, this is interesting. Why am I feeling like this? What is happening inside of me? What do I believe to be that I yet don't understand, that I'm honoring, that I'm being disconnected with? And sure enough, when I connected with that part of me, the core, the one that said no one could ever understand me in my pain, because no one did sit with me. No one that I believed to be sat with me when I was in grief and said, how are you? Are you okay? Can I just hold you? And because no one did that, my core belief was it's impossible. I'm not going to see it or receive it. So that part remained in that truth. So my father passes. I feel banded. I feel like no one could ever understand me. I feel like people were supposed to be crying when they were trying to give me their condolences, which that was an interesting self-reflection and observation. And when I finally said, whoa, there's a part of me that I am not connecting with, that I am not fostering parenting. And that was that fractured aspect that was left behind. And the moment that I held her, I literally held myself, guys. I literally held myself and spoke to that inner child, that one aspect that was floating around, still stuck in me. I was holding her. And the moment that I did that, holy moly, I stopped crying and I felt this sense of peace, for lack of better words. It was a peace. And then when people reached out to me, that 5% of what I once was labeling as they don't mean it turned into 100. Like, it was like I filled my whale. Now that person, when they're giving me whatever percentage of understanding and condolence that they were giving me, I felt it 100 times, because I was essentially giving it to myself, embodying that for me. Thus, I received what I once deemed as, oh, they don't mean, as, oh my God, thank you. So then my significant other, and so fast forward, because I kind of lost my train of thought. Then as everyone else started coming to me and telling me, I'm here for you, what do you need? It was history. It was history. And yeah, feel peace, another level of peace. So hopefully that answered the question. I kind of felt like I veered.
No, you spoke to how you had to take yourself into your deepest space of loss and realize that what you weren't receiving was because you were too busy people pleasing. You needed to make sure everybody believed you were okay. but you did never tell yourself it was okay not to be, right? So once you finally realized that you were in that space, that deep, deep space, you realized what you wanted was what you weren't giving yourself first. That's what amplified receiving it from everyone else. A people pleaser doesn't realize they have this ability because people pleasers don't receive love.
And that stood out to me, Josie, when you said they don't mean it. That really hit me because it's true. And it's, I could say, no, nobody ever came up to me and nobody ever did this for me or I can, say all those things. But even if they had, I would be in my head saying, well, they don't mean it. They don't mean that. They don't mean that love. They don't mean it anyways. So I'm already rejecting it. So yeah, it is me who has to be the one first to love me inside and to be even able to believe the love that
That's right.
people give me, right? Yeah.
Why do you not believe you'll receive it?
I think it's more in like when I would be hurting and people would reach out, it's different story than Josie's, but just in her, it's just because I'm rejecting myself and I don't want to feel hurting, that there's no way I can believe that they accept me hurting. So it's like, oh, they're just trying to be nice. They're just trying to please me. And I don't accept that.
Have you ever spilled some milk and somebody came and helped you clean it up?
Yeah, when I was little.
Spill hurt the same way. Spill hurt the same way. Somebody will come and help you clean it. But if you hide it, put some of that milk up underneath the refrigerator where nobody can see it, it spoils.
Yeah.
And you can't get rid of the smell. And you don't even smell it after a while because you got used to it. Same energy you're using to create your people pleasers, the same energy of everything I just said. And it never made sense. We're all human. We all want a connect. We all want to be connected to. We don't do that by pleasing one another. We do that by not hiding it hurts anymore, our ways that we feel. Thinking has been a disease for far too long. It's taken over. It itself is the reason you people please. Became perfectly trained because when did somebody take what you feel over what you think and make it matter? Not even you. And if not now, when? Because at some point, we're all going to break free. We can't escape a prison we don't even realize we're in until we realize we want to stop thinking about it and start feeling it, right? Your ability to feel has gone unmet and unmatched because of the way you think. And which one do you think brings you to life? Your thinking or your feeling?
Feeling.
Would you say feeling is more important than thinking? Then why are we all not treating it that way?
That's right.
If feeling was the pathway to healing, and thought has never done that. Thought makes you cope, right? Thought will make you think about something 25 different ways, but never really do anything to the feeling. And we refuse to say to each other, your thinking will never connect you to how you feel, because we're afraid to tell people my thinking never connected me to how I felt. It's done quite the opposite. It's made me do for everybody else. My thinking did that, not my feeling. your ability to let somebody feel you would be how you feel yourself. And when you get hurt, do you like sitting and how that feels? Pay attention to your head movements. How's that going to connect us? How's it going to heal anything? How are you pleasing anyone if you can't do that for yourself? And if not now, when? Name one thing you want to heal when it comes to people pleasing. What do you want to change?
The ability to say what I actually feel instead of molding it to make them accept it when I say it.
Have you ever sat in the feeling long enough to see if it even speaks? You know you can do that right now if you want. We'll sit in the feeling with you. You'll be surprised at how we connect very quickly and whatever was hurting stops hurting. Isn't that interesting? Are you sure that the words that you could choose aren't just further way of abandoning how you feel? But if we sit in what you're actually feeling, if we said, okay, Amy, are you open to us sitting in what you're feeling without any judgment? And you can bring whatever feeling that you think has hurt you out, and we'll sit with you. What would happen to the feeling? And when is that going to become people pleasing? Because goddamn it, we need it. Sorry.
You can't say that on TV. Oh, we're not on TV.
Not on TV. This is uncensored. We're allowed to be uncensored.
This is our channel. We can do what we want.
Yeah. But you felt that energy because we could focus on what you feel. And you could sit there and say whatever it is in your mind has been saying about that feeling. But when do you love the girl inside of the feeling? When do you give her words, meaning? How can you please anybody else without her? Is people pleasing an illusion? Yes. Because if you're people pleasing, do you go to them afterwards and say, can you fill out this card and let me know how I did? Can you?
Scared.
You've never done that? You know, you've convinced yourself you want to make sure everybody else is happy. When did you go to them and ask them how they want to be happy? Isn't that the illusion? I make other people happy. Oh yeah? What did they tell you made them happy? I don't know. I never got around to asking them. Wait. You are a people pleaser, pleasing people who doesn't go around and ask them what pleases them.
And if you do something and you don't get the reaction you want, then
You have failed. And this makes you feel so much better. So when you're people pleasing, how do you go and find out the people you're pleasing, how you did? Is there a scorecard? Or do you purposely sabotage it so you keep doing the same thing?
So you fix their car and then break it so you can fix it again.
Yes.
What the
Or
fuck?
you broke the car that wasn't even fixed to begin with, and then told yourself they needed to fix it, and they needed your help.
Yeah, and conveniently offered your services.
Yes. And then when they go,
What a con! What a big ass con!
Well, here's the thing, Elmo. Here's where it gets fun.
I never looked at it that way, but Elmo's right.
Yes, you get really mad. You'll get really mad when they go, why did you do this? I was trying to be helpful, right? When did I ask for your help?
That doesn't make any sense
Yes, it
at
does.
all.
It makes so much sense to staying hurt. It doesn't make sense to healing it. Because
So
you want
Lee,
somebody,
I have
you
a
want
question.
somebody to put you down for what you weren't able to do with them, because that's what starts a people pleaser on their people pleasing journey. When do you connect to the you on the inside who doesn't want that damn journey at all? You're more important than this.
All right, I turn around on the journey. I see that boy I left behind to deal and carry all that hurt. But I feel like I can't say I'm sorry, forgive me, because I want to say it so bad and I want it so bad and I want to embrace him, but I feel like I've gone too far.
When did feeling and can't make sense? You cannot use feeling and can't in the same sentence. We want to feel
Can't
this with
feel
you,
it,
Alma.
yeah.
Alma, we want to feel this with you. Stop running from him. Alma, look up. Look at us. He's allowed to be felt. Nobody's going to run from him. You're just going to have to stop running from him first. That's all it takes. Let him feel everything as though he chose it. He don't need a damn story. He needs somebody's arms around him. While he's feeling it, sharing the feeling connects you. When did you tell yourself not sharing the feeling connects you? When did that ever make sense? Yeah, see? Feeling can't. I feel that I can't. That's the same thing. I feel what I can't. I feel my fix, which is broken, that I fix. But it stays broken. How's that not can't? Yes, you can. Everything you feel, we feel too.
I was people pleasing you too by not showing it.
You don't have to please me.
Yeah.
You know what you have to do? Feel me. You're allowed. You have my full permission to feel everything. Here, now. You won't heal without telling yourself you can't. Can't is your issue, not your experience. Choose your experience, not your issues. That makes sense? Yeah, I know. We started realizing that we love this. We love to connect to our disconnects because it'll make sense of the world, not make sense of us. But what if you realized you belong to the world doesn't belong to you? Wouldn't that make everything you've ever thought about backwards? That would make you see that you're rejecting the very thing that brought you here. Brought us all here. And every single one of us, if we're watching this, or if you guys are sitting here with, you chose your suffering. Not on purpose. Not on accident. But if you really look at it, we all want to be connected to our disconnect so we can experience connection to each other. You will search for people who fall in line with your group of people pleasers, especially. We want to go and tell people about how we growing up had people who didn't pay attention to how we felt, and we paid attention to how they felt the whole time, and we didn't want to disrupt it because we felt like we were going to be a burden, only to find out that that's how mom felt, dad felt, their parents felt, it's like, and we all went, yeah, this is going to work in connection. We'll all connect to what we don't want. When do you connect to what you do want in yourself? What will that attract to you? We'll do more than people please. Try it for yourself. Every conversation that you think you can have with somebody you love, do you tell them the truth? The cold-blooded truth. No judgment. The cold-blooded truth. The truth about how you feel about you, not them. Because who are you asking them to be with if you don't tell them the truth of what you think about yourself? What a people pleaser you are. I hide who I am. I want them to think this is who I am. I don't want them to know the real me. They won't love the real me because I'm not.
Mhm.
And that's going to be pleasing for most people because somebody said don't feel that way. Or you told yourself, I can't speak what I feel. Why are you still practicing the very thing that's keeping you disconnected, not just from everyone, but from yourself? Why would you let yourself have connection if you're practicing being disconnected so you can make everybody else happy? And how do you know it makes them happy? Do you have somebody in your life right now trying to love you, but you don't love yourself to feel it?
Yes.
You got that. You felt what I'm saying. You ever done that? You wouldn't by chance be telling yourself you want connection in any space, would you? While doing that.
No, I kind of project them into the part of me that wants to love the disconnect and make me the disconnect, and then just sit there all grumpy, not letting them love the disconnect. You know?
What's so loving about a disconnect? Josie, is it possible to love one's disconnect?
Can I play?
Yes, yeah, oh, absolutely. Play all day.
No. Okay. So, but that's what everyone's doing, Lee. Everyone's doing this. And if everyone's doing this, I'm only setting myself up for pain, rejection all over again, Lee.
Isn't pain what brought you here? Isn't pain what brought every single human life, every single animal life, every single version of life had to go through pain? Are we sure we got it right in prolonging the inevitable? Pain is what brought you into this world. Pain is going to keep you here. Your running from it isn't making that possible. Your running from it is delaying the inevitable. What if we're all supposed to connect through our pain so we could love without question? We broke our own conditions because we left through our pain. You're not going to let anybody love you if you don't love your pain. Right? I mean, let's get down to it. You're going to please everybody else because you're not loving your pain. That's the truth. And this is a way that you have found a temporary job to abandon your pain, right? Let me abandon my job. Oh, wait a minute. My job is to go into my pain, but nope, I'm going to make everybody else happy first. Wow. Wow. What about the you inside of the pain? What that you inside of the pain gets what from that? Who gets healed from this? Hey, look, we're the first ones to tell you how to run from your pain. But we're also going to be the first ones to jump into your pain with you when you do. I mean, remember when you were born into this world, you came through a threshold of pain and you were completely soft, vulnerable, and innocent. And now you've convinced yourself that your pain won't give you that again. Are you bullshitting yourself? How's that pleasing you, telling yourself that? Go ahead, convince me why you cannot go into your pain and not come out the same way again. Have you tried it? How many times do you try it before you realize that's the way you always are supposed to heal? Not by rejecting the pain, but by accepting it. How do you trust connection if you're not trusting the connection to yourself inside of your pain? Who pleases themselves by going into their pain? Well, you'll sit with somebody else's pain, but you won't sit with your own. But you've convinced yourself that you're able to sit with their pain before you can sit with your own. When did that actually work? Are you connected to you? To tell yourself the truth about how that works?
You won't ever feel what they are going through
Why?
if you have not felt it yourself, because the pain is universal. Your pain is my pain. It's the same flavor of pain. If I've tasted it, I can taste yours. And I know what's on the other side is healing. And I can walk with you hand in hand to that healing, to that feeling. But if I haven't gone there myself, I'll just point, go on. It's dark, but go on.
Look at that. Abby's down to Josie. Everybody's awake. What would happen if you sat in your pain and realized everybody gets drawn to you when you do? Wouldn't that be, what the hell have we been doing?
Yeah. And everybody's got pain.
You will not evolve without your pain, nor will you trust connection without your pain. Because you disconnect from the you inside of your pain and now run around trying to make other people happy has made a mess of everything. Have you accepted that? I like it when we all say, let's meet in our suffering. Let's meet in our suffering. And you suffer, I'll suffer, and we won't tell ourselves a story about the suffering anymore. But what do you think will happen to the feeling of what suffering has given us?
I was gonna say it's gonna just go poof, but it's not gonna go poof. It's gonna
That breath
be
right there is, nope, that breath right there was all you needed to say. We all felt it. We all breathed it with you when you did it. You feel that? Yes, I feel that too. What are we supposed to do with this? Heal.
Feel is the common
Heal.
ground.
You will not heal what you don't let yourself feel. Nor will you feel what you can heal without feel. And we all know this shit. And we're walking around acting like we don't. We haven't even begun to understand the human condition or the human experience because we're so busy being disconnected. We have not seen what connection can do. We probably don't need half the drugs that we create to heal one another. We wouldn't. The answer's found in our pain, not running from it, not people pleasing from it. If you can continue to abandon how you feel, you're teaching everybody around you to abandon how you feel too. How's that pleasing you?
But you're not a person, you're a nobody. So you won't even please yourself. You are not included in your people pleasing
Well,
project.
ain't that the truth? Hashtag truth, Elmo. Oh,
Got it. Man, I
mm.
just want to hug you all. I'm giving you a hug right now.
You are. You
You
are.
are.
We feel it.
Breathe with us. Yes. If you're breathing in what we're doing here, if you're breathing in what we're doing here, if you realize what we're really doing here, those that are listening, those that are watching, those that are in here with us right now, this isn't a retreat. This is a stand up and rise. You've never
That's
rised up. You've never rised up to feel. You never. Nobody did it with you. You wanted it, but you just didn't know how to say it.
Why do we doubt what we feel? Like it's the first step, I feel like, to abandoning it. Like, oh, what if it's not right? Okay, bye. I'm going to trust them instead of me.
Programming.
Their words instead of what I feel in my body.
How deep do you want me to be in the truth when it comes to that question?
I don't know.
All the way.
Oh,
All the way.
You want me to go all the way?
I
All
can't
the
save
way.
y'all. I can't save y'all if y'all ask for it.
Hold my hand.
Oh man.
Because if we all valued each other the same, everything would collapse around us because it's created a value of material, not worth when it comes to self. We've lost our value because we can't connect how each other feels. We've substituted it with material. There's never been a life worth living if you're not connected to how you feel. So why heal the planet by making everything that we've come to know as our planet obsolete? Well, we need to do that for our evolution. Because if we don't, our extinction is upon us. It's right here. You think we do all of this in the human body for the experience of not being connected to? Are you serious? Every body of water connects on this planet, and we don't honor it. We're not pleasing our planet. Our planet's done pleasing us. Pay attention to what can be put in the air. That's your proof. The earth could clean it, but why do it? It's not like humans will take care of it. Because humans are the ones that keep doing it. And we're doing it to one another. We don't value how we feel towards one another because we barely learn how to value feeling ourselves. The people pleasing should have evolved this a long time ago. But no, we want to keep teaching history to keep repeating it. There's no evolution in that. There's repeating. You will not connect to what you will not allow yourself to be connected from. And guess what? You came into this world connected through a cord that got cut, and it didn't change anything about being connected to everything. They gave you this experience to choose. You get to choose what you feel. But once you were taught to think, what happened to what you feel? You get to think about what you feel, but when did you ever return back to real feeling? And how do you think you heal without real feeling? It's not about what anybody tells you. It's about what you're awakening to within yourself. There is a real you in there that feels everything. When does she or he get developed? How are you staying connected to you isn't about what other people tell you. It's about what you're telling yourself. Are you done hurting? Are you done running from your pain? Prove it. Your conditions were mind-made, which isn't even the real you.
Matrix.
There is no red or blue pill. There's becoming aware of your ability to give and receive love in your essence, which is something you're not even near if you're in your head. Feeling is the path. It's been the path all along, not your thoughts about it. You will not let anybody feel you if you're abandoning feeling yourself. Doesn't matter what the feeling represents, whether it's hurt, whether it's laughter, the things that we have labeled feeling as being. Without feeling, you have no experience. When is that going to matter to you? It will be how you make it matter to other people around you. That will be the new form of people pleasing. Will be called people healing. When you choose how you feel first.
Lee, we were talking about feeling and sensing, and I was about to reply that to me, feeling is touch. It's the same sense as touching. You feel inside, you touch. Connection is touch. Like all bodies of water touch directly or indirectly. We touch each other through the air we breathe across this planet. And touch is very, very healing. Like if somebody just touches you, is
two of the largest bodies of water come together at Cape Horn. Not in a destructive manner, in a life-giving one. There is more life created in that space on our planet than anywhere in our universe. And guess where we keep looking? In the sky. So it's the very thing that's trying to teach.
where's life?
Life is in, not up, not out. Life is in. So if you really look at the way we can heal one another, will be how we blend together the same way it does from two large bodies of water on our planet. They don't disconnect. They create life from what they're connected to in each other. Ta-da! Welcome to masculine and feminine energy. And the center point or 0 point of our planet is facing right there. And if you go down there and look at the climate, you're going to find the truth of what air does to you. Don't let what's in the air take you away from what's in the body of water. We could all be teaching or listening to the same things, but isn't pure connection going to connect you back to where you're connected from to begin with? Mm. So if you're looking for connection, how are you connected to how you feel? First. And did you learn how to connect to others through the feeling or through your thoughts about them? Find your separation. Don't stay in it. I found the most beautiful body of water to spend my life with. She's my Atlantic and Pacific.
Those are big bodies of water.
There's some really beautiful bodies of water. I love when them bodies clash, I'm telling you. All kinds of light come together. But you would, if you would think, what connection would do in connection is heal what you never knew could be healed. But now we can see it more clearly because you kind of choose being connected to you. You're hurt. There's a you inside of your hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That you inside of your hurt is vulnerable no matter what you do. Your choice to be inside of there isn't about other people. It's about you. Thank you for the breathing. I think we all found a way to join you in that. We knew that we wanted to get up and give something back to the world because the world keeps giving to us. The only way to heal is what we can give out in connection to see if it connects. Your knowledge isn't found in your head, it's found in your heart. The wisdom that comes with it is what that is done with that knowledge in your heart. Isn't that right, Josie?
You know, I like to tell people, you know, we've evolved, as you say, Lee, unfortunately, into a species that we've given our power to our logic and our mind. And that scale is tilted. And it's only creating more destruction, separation, and segregation. And I say, why are we discarding being in our senses? That is what gives us a sense of orientation. Being in our senses, our bodies, feel, touch, taste, all of that is vulnerable at all times, as Lee once, would mention. And it determines our experiences, yet we still want to honor the stories in our mind. Yet we still want to be giving that priority and discard the body, like if it's inferior, like if connecting, touching, feeling is not important for our sense of human self. And that is just the biggest wound, that I've witnessed. And it's a wound that if it's not addressed, it only going to extinct us if we allow it to.
I found something very unusual in what the universe wants from us. We wanted to get up and do this and build this place where people can come and heal, right? For somebody who actually sits with how they feel. And it was really interesting watching how the universe just said, no, not like that, like this. And we had to just open it up. We're not going to stop connecting to heal. At some point, it's just going to be the smoke that starts the fire. The spark that lights the land. Because there's a reset. And everybody uniting inside of the pain. The birth that this planet will get will come from that. Not without it. But do we get to choose what that looks like and what that experience is? I believe we do. And people pleasing, you learn that in the second grade. Share with others. The one thing they didn't tell you to share was how you felt. We're changing that now. That's why we're here. That's the bigger experience that everybody wants. Do you want to live a life where you felt everything or a life where you didn't?
Mm.
I always do that to you, Amy, don't I? It's like, damn it, leave you, stop it. that whole thing. You all feel it. If you're watching this, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be hidden. We're not running from this. We're drowning in it.
You said something about a reset in pain, right?
Yeah.
And you notice how when there are whatever kind of disasters, people find a way to come together in that. And it's like, what if we chose that first? You know, it's like sometimes we need that to wake us up and connect.
Mhm.
Maybe the bigger question is, Amy, why do we need a disaster to come together?
Hmm.
Isn't that a disaster enough? That we need to be hurt before we'll choose one another.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to be to where we've reached a point where we've had enough of only experiencing each other through hurt. Maybe just coming together in our hurt will change that without being forced to, choosing to. What would this world feel like if that's what it felt like? What if what you felt mattered to everyone who knew you, everyone who met you? Not what you looked like, not what your background was, not what your religion is, not who you were born from, not from all the things that happened to you, not all of the bullshit that we're still telling ourselves in the human experience is necessary. What about how somebody feels? We don't value each other's lives because we don't value how each other feels because we don't value how we feel about ourselves. See what's broken? The very first thing is once you have to tell yourself nobody values how you feel. And now you have to prove yourself right for the rest of your life. How's that living? You felt the throat chakra saying, no more, right? It wants to just scream. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to scream. We've actually felt it feels really good to scream into a pillow. Right? Just let it out.
Sometimes I'll bite.
That would be amazing.
If I wore some pillows out in my day. Body pillow, drew his face on it.
Okay.
Sprayed his cologne on it, wore it out. Beat him to death. Felt great.
I think what was so beautiful about it, though, is had she not done that, there would have never been the strength to let me hold her, too. Oh, you didn't see that part.
The strength to hold her through that.
No, the strength for her to give that up and open it so she could be held.
Mm.
Women have it rough here. They feel everything. For some reason, man was taught not to feel everything. That made no sense. We don't even see that as a disconnect because we talk about old times and old ways and old experiences. But what if we don't even almost said it. We don't really know the truth. But I promise you, at some point, when there was no communication of the human language the way we have it now, I promise you, a man could show up for how a woman feels. From great distances, we would find them. That is happening again.
That's beautiful.
Only because the way that we can connect is more easily able to be found. You will find somebody across the other side of the planet who will match a feeling that you have and run towards you in it. But the moment we don't experience it, or the moment it doesn't happen for us, we start coming up with all the reasons we'll never have it. Not all the reasons we will. Maybe you'll have to heal all the reasons you tell yourself you can't have it. So you will. We're proof that it's possible. And we're not going to shut up. Sorry, it's just not what we're going to do. We're going to keep talking and talking and keep showing up and showing up, fully connected, accepting every disconnect you have till you get connected so you can have connection too. You're allowed to have this. You're allowed to have somebody who feels what you're going through. When did you tell yourself you could have it?
Yes.
Now.
Yes. I can have it. I can be felt.
We feel
And I
you.
can feel myself.
Absolutely. How long do you think you're going to need to say that? Isn't a matter of length of time. It's a matter of length of connection to you. Get out of time. We can't control it. We can't do anything with it. The only thing we can do is join each other in it and be disconnected. Get rid of that. Time never connected to anybody. It disconnected you.
Mm.
Once you're in a fight with time, how can you be connected to you? Fight your past, dictate your future. Where's the real you in that?
In the middle, waiting for you. Not even
Wait.
waiting. Not even waiting.
No,
Not
waiting.
even waiting.
Waiting is probably the worst wound a people pleaser has. They're waiting for somebody to love them, not realizing that they're running in time. Time
Waiting
is
to run out of time.
Time is the permission to go into your head instead of what you feel. Time is the permission to go into your head and abandon what you feel. Go ahead, argue it. Give me your best shot. Come up with something in your thinking that tells you that time isn't wasting you. You're not wasting it. Go ahead. Let's wait. We'll sit here how we feel and wait for you to come join us with what that felt like to you. And then you tell me that connection is not lost in time when it's very present here and now. But if you're in your head about it, I guess we know who the runner is. And who's that pleasing? You. How do you choose what you feel instead of what you think will be found in your absence of time, not your presence in it, because you can't be present in time. You can be present here and now or not at all. Connection isn't giving you that, then how are you not connected to you? Will be found in how you can reconnect back to you that quickly. It's not a matter of time, it's a matter of now. Do you value what you feel right now? How about you, Amy? Do you value what you're feeling in your body right now? It's like a breaking pattern of thought. Oh, you mean I haven't let anybody feel me because I'm in my head? When did that ever work? And you stayed up in your head to please who? How about the girl in the body who feels everything? The boy in the body who feels everything? Where is your connection to them if you're in your head? And can you let anybody please you if you're in your head? Do they have your checklist?
I sent it out to everyone. I don't know if they.
You send out a checklist. Is this found on www.amychecklist.com?
It's like trying to love somebody through a
Craigslist
translator.
Craigslist checklist. There's a checklist for everything that you think. But how many checklists do you think there is for how you feel? Just one. Feel everything or don't. I'm sorry. If you like multiple choice, stay in your head. But I bet you don't. I bet you don't like it. I bet you don't like it. I bet you don't like having to be in your head about love. And I sure as hell bet you don't like being in your head about hurt. Because once you're in your head about hurt, when's the last time you let people know how you feel? That will be it. I'm fine. Really? Are you fine because you can't feel anything? You got that. See, it's funny. It's funny when you're in your body feeling it. But when you're in your head about it, that's serious. Is that right? And it doesn't feel serious. It feels serious that you're ignoring what you feel. That's the serious part. How long are you going to let yourself live that way? It's not about them. It's about you and your ability to people please. If a people pleaser attracts a narcissist, who's the problem?
Out.
Nobody.
I like that, how nobody shows up in everything.
Mm. But I had a thought like, even nobody can be a path to connection, because it's like it negates it that there is a problem. It's just the nobodiness. How do I put it? And then I was thinking like, it's like connecting through thought is like trying to love somebody through a translator. You're not even loving them. You're just, that doesn't make sense at all.
You're
Well,
thinking-
No,
actually,
I understand.
yeah, there's a really beautiful way that it was shown to us and our connection. Sherry and I had to reach the space of nowhere so we could connect nobody.
Mm.
Nowhere is what you're looking for. Nowhere is where you already are. Just allow your nobody to show up. Somebody will. As strange as that may sound, you felt what the sound was creating. The sound itself is what's important, not the actual definition of those things. That is the path of connection to be felt. We can all meet in nowhere. We can all expose our nobodies so somebody can emerge. We connect through everything we feel. All of your senses are alive, however you develop them, because your mind is not going to let you.
Mm.
Nobody is kind of like the blind spot, right?
Nobody, and your belief in nobody keeps you blind. But if you close your eyes long enough and feel somebody, nobody is accepting. A very accepting energy of what can be created in the space of nowhere with a nobody. Nobody loves me can evolve into somebody does. Well, I guess that means our time must be getting close. Did any of this help anyone? Did this all connect you back to the truth? We're going to be with our coaches, and they wanted to come out here and do this. And a lot of things show up the way they need to show up. Sometimes you just have to trust it and just go.
Mm.
Because if it goes one way, doesn't mean you can't open up other doors. So
Because that's life.
if you close doors or run from something, how can something show up? You don't open up connection, it remains disconnected. So don't go off of what you think you know, but what you believe the present moment is going to give you. Because what if you're wrong? We believe that we would be talking to 3 people right now. How many people have we spoken to? Connection's supposed to grow. Us not showing up for it to grow is the issue. We just got to keep showing up. Everything will connect the way it should, just as long as you believe in connection. You have to believe in connection. Stop believing in your disconnects. You inherited that. That is not even the real you. We are honored you spent this time with us this morning.
Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Nice to meet other coaches and connect.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
think
I
we're
don't
gonna
want to cry.
15 minutes and then come back.
Emotional.
Would you guys be interested in coming back live?
We're
Or-
gonna
I'm
take about
connected.
15 minutes and then we're gonna come
Anytime.
back live.
Yeah, we're going to come back
Anytime.
live and answer some questions, I
We're
suppose.
just gonna take some questions, come back live and take some questions. And if you guys would like to, any of you coaches, especially in Elmo, please, if you guys would like to come back in 15 minutes and join, if you don't have anything else to do, then please do. And we will post the link. We're just going to take a quick snack break.
And,
Have a little,
Same here.
have a little
I love you guys.
stretchy stretch.
oh, we love you.
Josie, oh, you already know.
We got your card.
You already
Oh,
know.
look at it. We got it.
Sorry.
And
It was so
Yeah.
special.
We felt your arms come around us both when we opened. And
Yeah. it
you
was
know,
awesome.
there's so many ways we can connect. So you guys keep
Let's
connecting.
just heal today.
Yeah.
Everybody just be in the healing today. We'll come back in 15 minutes and we'll take in general questions and we will just
Heal.
share what we have, what we've been blessed with.
Yeah.
Let's just share what we've been blessed with, our gifts.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You guys got the link. We'll post the link.
Yes.
And
And anybody who is watching this on YouTube, if you would be interested,
we'll post the link again.
post the link.
Come on in and we'll have a discussion on whatever y'all want to talk about.
Yeah. We'll have an open floor.
Mm.
Oh,
Open floor
Okay.
discussion.
that's beautiful. See you
All
guys
right.
in 15.
All right.